Hello, beloveds. What a beautiful day to enter into the womb of the forest, into the womb of the waters, and into that shadow on such a hot day here in Germany. What is happening today in the transmission is a deep, deep connection between all of the arteries of my world, of my work. And I wished to bring you on the beginnings again. Like we are here, inside of a very fertile field towards the 7-7, a very sacred numerology day. And we are inside of the 40 days of the Lion's Gate activation, inside of the Orolis field, Orolis. Look at this. We can even just by the name, we can bring in a whole new feel. Like the O is the womb, is the origin, it's the noon, primordial waters, and I have in my back the waters are flowing very, very softly, very, very gentle, like your inner waters when you are in that calmness and stillness space. And then the R is the activation of the Ra, of the sun, of the light, of the geometry inside of you. Like when we call Orolis as the emotive geometry, we are talking in both ways. So you can see a sacred geometry or any of your patterns that you are seeing when you are taking off the focus and going deeper and deeper into the cellular level. You will see the patterns, the sacred geometry, but they are responding to you. They are responding to your emotions, to your longing, to your vibration, to your frequency. And on the other side, of course, when you are in that space, like when you are in that space of opening up, of receiving, of immersing yourself inside of the waters or inside of the forest with all its living beings, from the leaves to the fairies, to the devas, to the waters. And these waters are connecting me to the Nile waters, to the Nile Codes. And I have brought us here actually to create that connection, because every body of water, like your inside waters, and I have been inquiring into the fourth phase of water with Gerard Pollack, and the ways of how light is actually activating that fourth state of water that is crystalline. Emoto has worked with the crystals of water and has done executive research about words like like the shit and hate words, and the beautiful aligned words like love and peace. So that exactly is showing us that the Orolis field is opening up a space, is opening up Orolis, is opening up a field where this emotive, this sensory, this somatic experience of everything inside of the holographic being is activated. So it is all starting in the holographic being. When I got the initiation and I started to open the Akashic Field and I started to transmit the visionary Akash, the blueprint of all of your lifelines, because they were not showing linear lifetimes like past, present, and future. They were actually activating the spheric field of times and timelines that are working and impacting each other. So you are then able to open and rewrite something that has been in your past, or receive something that is coming in the so-called future, in your future. So when we work inside of the holographic being, I always use this beautiful poem paraphrased from Rumi: you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the whole ocean in a drop. And that is what I feel. Like I got just now a beautiful leaf just coming from, from the, like from the, yes, coming from the field, so to speak, to greet me, to come and greet me like the wind is coming in as well. How beautiful that is, that the wind is coming in such a hot, static day. And when I feel inside of the holographic being, I feel inside of the quantum field. Somebody like me, like since my childhood, I was always a dreamer and I was always sensing around me, and I would always daydream in the classes and I would always be punished. But that daydreaming was connecting me, or is connecting me, to all that is on across all dimensions and inside of us. Like when we are connected to the forest, to the earth links, so to speak, we are also connecting to the sky links. Where does the sky end and where is the earth begins in this, in this womb of nature. And then inside of you, where do you think you are? The body that is separated from the leaves, from the barks, from the, from the lying bark of a tree that is actually holding the camera for me. How can I separate? Where is the separation? Because when I close my eyes, I see these geometric forms. I see the light embedding me, permeating me. I'm not only the light, but also the love, also this feeling of, wow, this is moving inside of me. And I'm not negating my so-called negatives. I'm not negating all my struggles. I'm not telling you forget them. I know you are inside of an economic turmoil, inside of a political turmoil, inside of a wall that is crumbling in front of your eyes, but inside of the coherence, inside of the rhythms, inside of the frequencies and vibrations, there is a geometry, there is a symmetry, even a symmetry of struggle. It can be coherent when you align your breathing, for example, to the sounds of the birds, to the unseen mycelium, because the mycelium is connecting to each other globally. And when we talk about this being in this world, when we talk about this holographic being, that means all of you, all of your lifelines, all of your talents, all of your failures, all of your experiences, all of your timelines inside of one timeline, so to speak. And then across the dimensions, somebody who is more sensory than others, starting to really inquire into the dimensions. And they are not only 9 or 12 or 100 or thousands, there are infinite dimensions that you can travel to. I always keep my body in a very safe space, absolutely protected by Anpu, Anubis, and the Houthi Thoth. Then I can leave my body, I can go wherever I want to go, I can immerse myself into any of these earths and leaves and composts and webs and like all of that. So I want to invite you to do the same. I want you to get a feeling about where are you at this very moment. What is your somatic experience? Wherever you are, like you can be inside of a subway, or inside of your office, or wherever it is. Like I want you to get a scanning of your geometry, your inner geometry and your outer geometry, and the merging and the convergence of both outer and inner inside of a whole emotive Orolis field. And the quantum field, the holographic being is inside of the quantum field, is inside. We know about the entanglement of practicals. We know of particles, not practicals, sorry. We know about this. We know about how are you working, like, for example, twins, or when I have been always dreaming while I was in Berlin, I was always dreaming of my life in Cairo when I left as a young woman. And now I'm very deeply connected with my beloved and the Hesa Island in Nuba, in Aswan, in Egypt. And then we are here in Germany inside of the forest. But the Nile waters, the currents, the cellular level of your being is immersed, is embedded in all of that quantum field. Okay, so that is, like, that is the holographic theory, so to speak. That is the Akashic field. And if we are working inside of the Akashic field, and like I have been opening the Akashic records for so many years, for hundreds and hundreds of people. When you work inside of the Akashic field, you create. Yes, what do you create? You create also a kind of a blueprint. You create, or you get, a transmission of your whole life, of your whole essence, across all lifelines, across all experiences, across all dimensions. And I would like you to also understand this and the implications of this, because the Akashic records are also a very dynamic field. It's also a very, very intuitive field, and it is also a very, very seductive field. Very protected, of course, by the Akashic lords, and in our cosmology by Sechet, the Akashic records keeper, vi- the vibrant feminine counterpart to Hoti, to Thoth. And like what is happening here is that we don't perceive inside of my cosmology, we don't perceive the netero, the nature beings, the life forces, like the Hoti, Isis, Hathor. Like Hathor is the jubilation of the birds, the jubilation of the shadow. It's the jubilation of the light. And these forces are permeating your life, permeating your field, permeating your inner field. Like when I talk about journeying, and you journey across timelines and across the skies, it's exactly the same power where you journey towards the underworld of the earth, towards the magma, towards the oceans, towards the selenite caves, the crystalline caves, and the lost civilizations. But then you also travel, and I'm inviting you to do this, travel inside of your own being, your deeper universe, where everything is happening inside of that harmony, of that coherence, of that resonance. And it can be a positive and a negative, exactly like anything in this world. But this is not the polarity. It's the tension, it's the dance between these so-called polarities. And then you can really enter into your universes, like into every cellular uh, uh, every cell of your trillions is a universe in herself. And I was listening to the waters, to the fourth phase of the water, was listening to my inner geometry. I was listening to my Orolis field, Orolis. And I love Orolis because the S is also the undulating serpent life force energy that is permeating you and rising up inside of that womb of that forest. So when we work inside of the Akashic field, then we can even expand it to the scalar field, where everything, when you see, like when you see the nature, you don't really recognize with your eyes the Fibonacci sequences or the inherent geometry. That is the scalar field. The scalar field is embedding all of the worlds, the Akashic worlds, all the cosmologies, all the traditions, all the perceptions of this world, permeating your perception. influencing, dancing, loving, penetrating your inner field of Orolis, of your emotions. And I can tell you, like when you wake up and you feel that, like you feel that there's something happening, there is an anxiety, there is some worries, there are some bills on your table that are mounting, like there is this, like all of these thoughts about how I can get a booking today and how can I manage, and how can I manage inside of a crazy world that is activating bombs and hatred and killing children by the thousands. Like I know about all of these frequencies, but these frequencies get into coherence inside of you when you get in alignment, when you get in coherence, when you get inside of your own breathing, and then inside of the water breathing. The water here, this little stream, will flow into the Nile at one point. And the mycelium will connect me to the global community. And the trees are embracing me. They are holding me like a mama. And then when we open that field, when we open that cellular memory, so to speak, it's actually not a memory, because memory is connected to knowledge, and we know that knowledge is always limited. We have learned that from Jiddu Krishnamurti, that every little knowledge is a kind of a puzzle. But memory means also to memoir, to open up the storytelling field, to open up your field of being, to open up your field of storytelling, of sensational storytelling, of watching, like watching the world beyond you, watching that light and shadow dance inside of you, watching that feelings of longing. The sacred geometry of the flower of life is also longing to connect to you. Yes, it is. And like when we are working inside of the quantum field, and in my book Quantum Leaps and Lost Socks, I actually created that field. I created that possibility that every little ritual in your life, like drinking tea or walking towards a supermarket or whatever, uh, washing your laundries, like this is a portal in itself, portal into the quantum field, into the holographic being, into your emotive geometry. And then you can read your Akashic vision yourself. Of course, through me there is another transmission, because the lords and the Egyptian Etero and all of the beings that are guarding the Akashic halls, they transmit a deep acting, deep, deep working, visioning across all lifelines blueprint for yourself. But when you are in the forest, and you feel inside of the deva of the leaves, or the deva of the forest, or the devas of your own highest self, or your so-called future self, or your past self, and then you inquire into something, close your eyes and inquire into something deeply, deeply needed at this very moment. And you can breathe 3 times in it. Only. And then you can listen to the whispers, to the whispers of the answer, the whispers of the wind carrying you an opportunity, carrying to you a serendipity. And if it doesn't work at this very moment, be very attentive on your day, be very attentive in your life, be very attentive when you are in relationship with your thoughts, with your emotions, with nature, with your child, with your beloved, with your employee, with your partner, with your creative process. When you listen when you deeply listen to the Orolis field, when you deeply listen to your own emotions, when you feel that emotion, when you feel that love, what happens with you? What kind of answers are coming? Which ideas can fall from the sky into your lab that never have come to you before? Which insight, which feeling, which longing, which frequency of love wishes, longs to enter through you at this very moment, through the breath, through the breeze, through the movement of the leaves, through the codes of the waters. And then you feel that. You feel that this answer is coming to you, is permeating you, is loving and connecting and bonding to you, beloved. Have a beautiful day. I can tell you that this is a moment of deep bonding as well. You talk in your digital world, in our digital world, about algorithms. Do you also talk about your inner algorithm? The inner coherence, the inner resonance of everything that is connecting to each other and building on each other and rising from each other. If we feel into this, deeply into this, we would actually never ever tell anybody a bad word again or hurt anybody again, or even one negative talk, self-talk. We would look into the mirror to ourselves and say, hey, Ima, you are so beautiful. Every morning you wake up, you are aligned, you are ready, you are in coherence within your own field of power, of kindness, of peace, of deep perception of your deepest being.